Hey, everyone, and welcome to Friday. You made it. Congratulations. I think this is the right one I want to push. Yeah, there it is. Got to have the applause going there. I never get to use that button very much, so I'm always happy when I get a chance to actually use it. So it's Friday. You made it to Cyber Social Hub's Hubcast. What it is? What did you just tune into? Most of you here probably already know, but those of you who are just randomly channel surfing, is that even a thing anymore? On YouTube, and maybe came across all the live feeds going on between any of the different services we broadcast out to. What Cyber Social Hub is a community of digital investigators, and it's just go there, check it out, cybersocialhub.com, and you can sign up. It's free. And what it is a bunch of investigators talking about how to pull information and digital evidence out of stuff. It's really basically it. And of course, we do a lot of free stuff. Well, everything's free over there for the most part. Webinars. We do this every Friday, or we try to, and it's just kind of our relief of the week of dealing with some of the nonsense that digital investigations puts on you in the week. Come here and have some fun conversations with some really great people. A couple things I want to let you guys know about is, first off, we always can use your help. I try to say this twice every time now. I actually have notes sitting down here that I say it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps out a lot. Now we're broadcasting out to YouTube, which is the primary feed, and then it also simulcasts. That's a term in the social world, out to X/Twitter, right? Whatever you're calling it this week, and then to LinkedIn, and then I'm missing one, Facebook. So we're broadcasting out to all of those. We can only see the chats though currently from Facebook and from YouTube. Actually, I saw a random one. So if someone's on Twitter and wants to say hi, see if it works, because I saw one a couple weeks back and I haven't seen one since. So and that's that. Anyway, so yeah, if you're on YouTube, especially, make sure you give a nice thumbs up, subscribe. Also, there's a little bell down there in the corner. If you want to know when we do go live, it will alert you that when we're live. And the reason that's important coming up is because I don't schedule these, and I know it drives my team insane. Sorry, Megan. And we're going to be at Techno Security here in not next week, but the week after next. We're going to be at Techno Security. I'm going to be broadcasting live just throughout the event. They have us on as of right now. It looks like we're still on the showroom floor, which is awesome. So we're right in the hall. That's always a good time, because we're going to be dragging in different speakers and folks that are presenting at the event to talk about some of the latest trends and things that they're seeing in digital forensics, and just maybe some of the new stuff that maybe you guys didn't know about. I learn something new every time. There's a lot of great speakers and vendors out there at that event. Again, that's coming up the first week of June. We're going to be down there in Wilmington, North Carolina, and checking that out. So that pretty much wraps up all the stuff I think in pre that I wanted to, and I wanted to make sure, Megan, I didn't check with you. I don't think we have a sponsor this round or any stuff to handle. So that's always a good thing. Okay, so the next point of business then is, if you guys have a question at any point, just type it into chat. Type it right into chat. And ask. If you do like a Q colon before, as long as you put a Q somewhere before it, I search for the letter Q in the comments and make sure that we catch them all. So yeah, that's that. So awesome. Okay, again, everyone give me a thumbs up. Just go ahead and do it, even if the episode sucks. It helps with our algorithm, and I really appreciate it. All right, so with that, yeah, I'm groveling for likes at this point. That's what happens when it goes on. Man, I'm happy that the weather has warmed up, and I'm going to bring on Dave right now before I go too much off on a tangent. Let's pull Dave up here. Boom, there's Dave from Truxton Forensics. How are you, sir?
How you doing, Kevin? Hey,
good,
everybody.
Man. Doing well. Oh, yeah, I love the background you got going on now with all the guitars.
Lots of guitars. Used to be the jam room, but I lost my rhythm section quite some time ago. She moved to Ohio, and I don't think we've really seen her since. I think I got a postcard, a Christmas card, or a Father's Day card, or something like that once. But Yeah, nothing's worse than playing music by yourself, especially if you're the worst one in the band. Right? Need somebody else to pick up the slack. Yeah,
Right.
when it gets to be summertime, we move down here because it's a lot cooler. So in the basement, it's you could cut meat down here if you wanted to. It's about 52 degrees, so it's
Yep.
awesome. Yeah.
Yep. That's where I'm at every day. Basement.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Nice. Yeah. For those of you who didn't put two and two together, the last names should have included in. You guys always hear me refer to Megan on the show. She's our director of operations here, and obviously same last name, right? And he talked about his daughter moving to Ohio, so there was another clue to that. Yeah, I'm now here. I can see everybody.
No, don't even
really?
say it. You're really gonna say it.
Yeah.
I spent 8 years in an industry. It's like, hey, that's Dave Ryberg with Truxton, yeah. And then I think it was our friend Jansen.
Probably.
Go to the show, and I got a name tag that doesn't say Dave Ryberg anymore. It says Megan's dad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was running for a little while, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah, I'll get you that one day. One day.
Yeah, Megan says, hold on, let me bring this up on the screen. Yep, is always Jansen's fault. Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of the default go-to.
I think he likes it that way, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. Absolutely. He's in the center of attention. That's Jansen. Yeah. So if you guys don't know who we're talking about, is Jansen Cahoon. He's been on the show a couple times. Yeah, I haven't had him on in a little while. I got to drag him on again. I'll probably see him. Oh, he is. He's going to be down at Techno next week.
I think he has a booth, maybe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they got a booth. Good for them.
Imagine that. That's good.
Good for them. Stepping up. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'll tell the story another time, but yeah. So I'm getting a lot of messages. I forgot to put myself in Do Not Disturb. There's nothing worse, man. When you do that and you're starting to get all these messages that pop in as soon as you hit the live button, you're like, oh man, where were they all like 5 minutes ago before I went live? And now
you want to buy solar panels for your house.
Right on. So Dave, what have you been up to, my man? It's been a little bit since you've been on the show.
It's been a long time. Been busy. The parent company of Truxton is a company called Probity. And we do a lot of other things besides digital forensics. We do some cross-domain solutions and things like that. We introduced a product called Fastback Data Diode. So when you're trying to take data from an unclassified domain to a classified domain, there's rules in place that you want to protect that and have a physical disconnect between the sending domain and the receiving domain. And we just introduced that product last year, and that's really kind of taken up a lot of our time as a company with that. So it's been a little spell since we've been at the show. This is the first IASIS, and I think this will be the first Techno that we haven't been to in quite some time. But Truxton is still alive and well, and we have some exciting news about that. So,
yeah, I kind of teased it a little bit. Some of the trends that people may not be aware of, and we'll let them know about that. I called it a trend just to get their attention a little bit. I think I called it a trend.
That
I don't remember what I called the name of the show now. That's probably the hardest thing, is coming up with names for these two different episodes of it. To make it a little bit of interest, it's like, what are they going to talk about? And we rarely talk about that topic anyway. So I think people
it's pretty much a tangent. Maybe a great name for this show would have been, hey, just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it can't help you.
That's right.
Right? There's all sorts of stuff out there that it's like, okay, the world is a big battle of soda companies, right? You got Coke, you got Pepsi, you got Dr. Pepper, Fresca, or Tab, or whatever. And, Truxton is, for those who have never heard of it, after 12 or 13 years, Truxton is an analytical platform. So the idea is it gives you a single place to aggregate all of your disparate media. What the heck does that mean? It means that if I got 10 different tools, if I'm using Burla, ADF, Data Pilot, Gray Key, whatever, you're going to have those different tools. Truxton allows you to throw them into one funnel or one bucket. So maybe for the older people in the crowd, maybe the best way to describe it is, imagine you had 500 phones, drones, and car forensic images in the back of a dump truck. So, if you work in this industry, you've probably seen that dump truck back up to your cubicle and just boop, dump it on your desk. Hey, get to work. So Truxton allows you to throw all those in a funnel. So the next part that it is kind of like I Love Lucy. Remember that episode where they're putting cherries on top of the sundaes or the ice cream and it's going down the conveyor belt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, you called me out of my age. I remember
Conveyor belt. So you got a funnel that you put all your stuff in. And it goes down this conveyor belt, and that conveyor belt does exploitation. So it kind of makes sense of all the UFEDRs, the Gray Key images, the ADF zips, Data Pilot zips, what have you. And when it pulls those out, it gives you the files like all the other tools do, but it actually reaches into the file and pulls out the artifacts. So if you had a PDF or a Word doc or something like that, you would actually get the names or the locations, SSIDs, serial numbers, those sorts of things. And the idea is to automate that process so it kind of acts as a force multiplier. So imagine that your shift ends at 6 o'clock. Well, if you just throw 10 phones into the Truxton funnel at 6:01, leave, go home, spend some time with your family overnight. And when you come in the morning, they would have all been processed and gone down that conveyor belt. And at the very end, it's like the old Batman and Robin TV series, right? In front of the Bat computer, and an index card comes out, right?
Where they wore tights, is that one? That's the one you
that's gotcha. The one. And they had shark repellent and all that stuff. Yeah. That might have been the movie. But anyway, so you're going to have those initial reports, so 12 or 13 reports that just kind of give you a head start and a clue of what it is. So that's what Truxton is, and that's what Truxton does. It's designed to work with any forensic tool. If there's new tools out there, we develop so that we can read their output and put it all in one place. But the idea is to automate it. So pretty helpful for small, understaffed law enforcement organizations or people with just gobs and gobs of data. If you're staring down the barrel of 50,000 phones, what are you going to do? You need help.
Yeah, for sure. Now it does a lot of other stuff. I mean, doesn't it do some like it shows you who's talking to who, and yeah. I love, probably one of my favorite that I remember is the timelines view that you guys have.
Yeah,
that's freaking awesome.
It's really cool because when you think about digital forensics, what are you trying to do? You're painting pictures, right? So if you're trying to solve a case or whatever, you're painting a picture to figure out what happened. But as time goes on with the tools that we have now, if you know the when and you know the where, if you know the location, then you're going to find out the rest of what happened pretty quickly. So Truxton, all tools kind of put a time and date stamp on everything, but we actually have a category of things that we call events. So that's everything from Dave made a phone call, or sent a text message, tracked a package, made an airline reservation, opened a car door, opened a car trunk, turned on a car, left from a drone pilot's starting position, just anything like that. So when you add events into the timeline, it really allows you to just kind of see everything all at once and then drop out the event categories that you don't care about. So I think it's probably 2 years now that we did a seminar called Phones, Drones, and Automobiles.
Oh, yeah.
And what we did is we showed how you could use Truxton to take in Burla information from track logs and things like that, use data pilots, use ADFs, any kind of tool out there to do that. Mm-hmm. And what we saw, my gosh, we rented a car from BWI Airport and one here in Winchester. And we met up in West Virginia, and we just left one of the cars at a gas station up there. And then came down here, and when we finished our little mock case, we went to go to the cars, and the guys at Burla, who were wonderful, great tool, we had to take out the entire dash of my rental car. So we parked in the Walmart parking lot, and oh my God, Ben and his trusty assistant, they just ripped out. I'm just sitting on like a drywall bucket in the parking lot and watching. You just sit there like cosmonauts. You just see the feet hanging out the windows and stuff. And every now and then you hear a beep or a curse word or something like that, and then just parts. And you know those little plastic clips, you can almost hear them breaking.
Oh, man, those things are the worst anyway. Yeah.
They take all the stuff out, and they finally get to the infotainment center there. And they attach the Burla computer to the leads of the chipset, and they're sucking the data out of that. Oh, it absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Burla.com for the plug.
I think the name of the product's Ivy, if I remember right. I might be.
Yeah, IVE. Yeah. IVE, I think is the one. So took all the data out, and then it was like, oh my God, will this really go back together? And God bless him. He was like, oh yeah, and I was like, do I just do the night drop off, or do I give him the key and do the walk around, just waiting for him to sign that piece of paper? There's
waiting for the dash just to go.
or all the idiots start flashing, that sort of stuff. It was a blast. It was absolutely fascinating to see that level of technology and what you could get. But when we did that, one of the things that we saw was, all right, when you drive a car from an airport 75 miles all the way out here, how many cell phone towers do you think you hear? How many Wi-Fi hotspots do you think you see or hear? You stop at a gas station. It's just, when I first got into this, it was like finding needles in haystacks, get through the chaff. But I think nowadays that the tools are so good that I think we have more chaff now. Right? And bigger clouds. So we have more stuff to go through. So kind of getting back to that, it's like, well, if you can take off certain types or categories of events. So if you're looking at a timeline, okay, car started at the Avis BWI rental center. Okay, that's important. Date, time, got the car. Then it drove here and I got the track log. Hey, that's great. But, 758 Wi-Fi points heard down I-70, who cares? It's just not important. But when you look at the timeline, there's all this stuff stacked on top of each other. And what's really cool is that you can just filter by event type. So if all I want to see is calls, messages, photos, web searches, connections to a Wi-Fi network would be a little bit more important than just hearing them. And then doors opening, doors closing. It just whittles everything down to a digestible amount of information. And you can add that other stuff back in. So if you kind of say, most people think of a timeline, it's like, hey, I'm going to come put this flag in the ground. 2:00 Groundhog's Day. And give me 8 hours before that and 8 hours after that. What we got? A lot of times you don't know when something happened, but you know what happened. I know that this guy sent a package through the U.S. mail and he texted somebody the tracking number. Okay. Well, what do you think the person that received the tracking number probably did? USPS.com, track my stuff. And they probably just typed that in there and voila, there you go. So it gives you that kind of context. It's a really cool tool. And then I think my favorite feature was always that you could print it. So you remember back in third grade, at least in the Middle Ages when I went to school, you had to make the timeline. It's like, this is when the dinosaurs came and then they got crushed by meteors or whatever. And you ended up with this big, horizontal scroll, right? So in third grade, you would present it and you'd have a friend hold the one side and you go over there and you have to stand in front of it and point. Well, I don't. Our smart people, our UI people, just turned it into a 8.5 by 11 portrait, and you can just see the timeline like that. It's pretty cool.
It is really cool.
So
I like the filtering abilities. It really helped. Like you said, if you're looking for just one specific thing, if you're just looking for a category of thing, it made it really easy. Anyway, I don't. People can go check it out. But wait. It's about 20 minutes in. I think that's long enough based on the title. I'm trying to look. I didn't want to give it away like right at the beginning. And then, it's like, there's the news. I'm out. Not much
people
of a cliffhanger,
are waiting.
though.
They're stuck in traffic on a bridge to a beach somewhere, right? It's Friday.
I know, right?
Weekend.
I know it's Memorial Weekend.
I'll listen to Kevin and a bunch of some nerd dudes talking about digital forensics. I should be out in the sun drinking beer or something.
Right.
So anyway, don't wait any longer. The big news is...
What's the big news? Hold on, drum roll. I don't have a drum roll. I don't think I do.
I have one over there, but like I said, my rhythm section is 5 hours away. So
I don't have a drum roll in the buttons, but I have an applause waiting.
All right. So let me give a little bit of background to this. So this is the 25-year anniversary of the Techno Security Show, isn't it?
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
And I've only been in this for 8 years, maybe. And when I first got into this business, when I walked my first Techno show, I was really amazed that it was like the Three Musketeers. It was one for all for one. And it was really a community. So everybody sort of has the same goal, which is we're overwhelmed. We're trying to catch bad people doing bad things. And everybody was competitors, but they all got along and helped each other, right? Because in the end, you use whatever tools necessary to get the job done. It's too important to let these type of people go free, right? And thinking about that, I was like, my gosh, this is one of the few technos that I'm going to miss. This is one of the first IASISes that I haven't been to. And I started kind of missing the community. And our company uses your tool called Reach Penguin to do all of our social media and stuff like that. And it's really cool because you can do all of your CRM, you can do all your website management, you can do all your products, store there, anything and everything from one window pane. So it's really been a godsend, especially since our company came up with a whole new product line in a totally different market space. So it's been a godsend. So I was looking back in there yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, look at some of these leads. So over 7 or 8 years, there was 4,833 leads in there. I was like, oh my gosh, that really is a community. So over that little time, and I still remember the exact conversations that were had. And started thinking about that. And 25 years, we can do a lot more things now. But one of the unfortunate things that happened is that, digital forensics is an expensive endeavor. So you get into a thing where it's like Mayberry RFD. What's their budget for digital forensics? Probably not very much.
I
right?
can
So
tell
they're
you
going to
in
rely
Lima,
on their,
Ohio, it wasn't much.
yeah, yeah. So what did you do in that case, Kevin? So if you didn't have the tools or you didn't have the training, what did you do when you got phones in? Or
Yeah, I was in trouble. We'd have to send it off to another lab or wait
yeah,
forever for it to come back. And
yeah,
yeah, we were in trouble.
yeah. And then when you got the stuff back, they just give you some CDs, discs, DVDs, and reports and
Yeah,
stuff.
basically some reports back. Yep,
Mhm.
yep.
Well, when we got to thinking about it, we decided that we were going to offer, in the spirit of that community, we're going to offer something called Truxton Community Edition. And Truxton Community Edition is going to be a free version of Truxton. There's your drum roll. Psh.
I'll do the audience cheer.
Yeah, how about that?
All right, it's over.
So what we've decided to do is come out with a version of Truxton that is specifically for the smaller law enforcement organizations that have challenging budgets, that really need to find a way to automate the analysis of the uh, digital images that they might get from their state police or their friendly city or state labs.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to kind of be a force multiplier. So it's going to let the overwhelmed smaller departments take those images, put them in Truxton, and then they're going to get that initial set of reports. So in Truxton, you're going to get an investigation summary. It's going to list all of the media that's in that case. Then it's going to list all of the artifacts that Truxton has gone in and pulled out. So you're going to have your IMEI numbers, you're going to have your names, you're going to have your credit card numbers, and then it's going to give you a report with all the locations and a downloadable KMZ file.
Mm-hmm.
So show me the where and I'll solve the crime, right? If I know when everything happened and I know where everything happened. But a really, really useful tool for somebody that might not have the deep experience and training of it, doesn't have the software, and really needs to make the best use out of an undermanned staff or an under-budgeted department.
Heck
So
yeah.
you can think of, the district attorney's office, anybody that really doesn't need to get into the deep nitty-gritty of things.
Yeah, a lot of the agencies, I think I can't remember. I think it was 80, 90%, maybe an 80% of agencies, last numbers I ran, were like 100 and under staffed. And that's a decent small agency. It's not like it's, here in Ohio, like it's not like Columbus or Cleveland PD.
And I think the other thing that it might be a good match for is I was thinking about colleges and universities as well. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those schools are now teaching classes in digital forensics. I know our friend Bob Osgood at George Mason University, they actually use Truxton as a teaching tool. Since it's a platform, it allows the students to kind of get an overview of, okay, week one, we're going to learn computer file systems. So it's laptops and hard drives, right? So you learn how to use, say, FTK Imager, get that image, and you put it in your Truxton funnel. Next week, we're moving on to mobile phones. Okay, maybe I use Celebrite, maybe I use ADF, Datapilot, whatever. And then that class is specifically how to properly image a phone. Is it going to be a logical? Is it going to be an advanced logical? Is it going to be a physical? Is it going to be a chip off? Whatever those results are, week 2, throw that in your Truxton funnel. Then week 3, maybe it's SD cards and loose media. Maybe it's automobiles. Maybe it's drones.
Right.
Whatever. And you put that in that
throw
funnel.
About anything in that line.
Yeah.
But we have people, I'm surprised I haven't seen it in chat yet. Nobody's asked, well, how can I get this? How can I get this? I'm waiting. Nobody said anything yet. They're all just like, I think they don't believe you. I think you're like, no, you're not giving them.
No, it's true. It's true. So right now it'll be released right around the first week of June. So the final touches are being putting on there. So
we have an early sign up link, and I am going to paste it into chat right now.
Like magic, right?
Right, like that. There it is. Hopefully you guys can click it. Everybody's distracted by bridge traffic, is what Megan says.
They're watching on their car TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just put the link down into chat, and you'll be able to see it on YouTube. We'll put it down in the show notes as well, on the YouTube channel. I'll try to go back in the other ones and put it there if you guys are watching on one of the other networks as well. Or if you're in post, sorry, Dave. I forgot. We put these now in post. Every one of these shows now go out to Spotify, iTunes, every podcast thing available. Things I've even heard of before we're distroed on. I don't know how we got on there, but we're distroed out. We use Podbean to do that, and they handle it for us. And I'll put it in the show notes of that particular show. So hopefully you'll be able to find the link somewhere in there as well. If you want.
Yeah, if you've ever dropped by our table or our booth at a show and we have your contact information, we'll be sending a mass email to everybody. And then since we're a member of the Cyber Social Hub, we'll contact all the members there. And it's going to be free. But what's the catch, Dave? And there, of course, is a catch. So the community edition of Truxton is really designed to be a standalone tool just to be used on a single station. And we're going to limit the number of pieces of media that you can put in there. So I believe the limit will be 25 pieces of media. So that means you could have 10 phones and 15 computers, or 25 SD cards, or 25 gray key images, or whatever.
So basically, you're just not doing enterprise level type investigations.
Pretty much.
You can it
won't give you that enterprise simultaneous analytical review and those sorts of things. But we have a little rack system that does, I think, 2.5 petabytes of data. And we had one, and we took all of the media. We were able to process 1,758 phones, drones, automobiles, just whatever, hard drives, in 38 hours. So that's smoking awesome. Through that. But
that's awesome.
Much to our developer Sam's chagrin, he's like, yeah, Dave, there's like 1,700 or 1,800 pieces of media in there. And I said, well, what about correlation? That's the name of the game, especially for like gang investigations or something like that, or multi-state jurisdictional stuff. So I put all 1,700 pieces of media in a single investigation.
Just trying to tick Sam off, see if he can make it.
Yeah. So I put them all in there, load them all up, and the Truxton investigation summary report 3,892 pages. print, and there's 500 million.
You're going through like a crate of paper.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But the cool thing is that the reason that you want to put things together in one bucket is that you can make the correlations. So if I see the name Kevin DeLong on one phone, and I know he's talking to this bad person, Megan, and they're having conversations and they're using code words or whatever, and they're trading pictures, and I'm going to see if Kevin's name or Megan or that hash for that picture or that location pops up anywhere in those other 1,437 phones or hard drives, whatever, and you can set alerts. So if I throw one more phone in there and that phone has Kevin DeLong's name on it, bing, new phone in, has Kevin's name in it. Okay. So automating those processes just to help you make correlations between artifacts, important juicy bits of evidence, if that's what you want to call it. And then with locations, the really cool thing is you could like make a geofence around a location. So let's say that you were surveilling a building and no one's supposed to know what's in that building. Yet two different cars came by, and then you roll up somebody and their phone is over there and they were taking pictures with their phone. And then lo and behold, you roll up somebody else and they had a drone sitting there just basically watching who was going in and out of the building. You would have those alerts that there was some sort of forensic activity, some forensic artifact that happened within that geofence. So a great way to look at that would be the unfortunate situation of a registered sex offender that has to maintain a certain distance away from a public school. So if you drew a circle of 500 meters around Main Street Elementary and there was somebody that was registered on there, you could prove in 5 minutes that they violated that parole and that they were within 100 yards or 100 feet of the school.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool.
Same deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Dave, you got how many guitars hanging on the wall behind you? There's 5 that I see. Or is there more than that? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many do you own?
6, 7, 8.
Oh, he's counting around the room.
8. Yeah. 8. There's other walls.
Oh, yeah, right.
I play them all about the same level of badliness, but it's fun.
Now, I talked to you on, was it this Tuesday or Monday? Monday I talked to you.
Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday. Yeah. Which one? You have a new one out of the group. Is it the black and burnt orange one there? Is that what color that is?
It's one at the end. So that's a Fender Telecaster, and it's a little different in that if you look at the middle of it.
Oh, he's sliding back to get it right now.
Yeah,
we can't hear you way back there. I'm narrating because I got to remember we're going to be on Spotify and stuff too. We don't have the visual references. I'm going back to my my radio days where Dave has now pulled the guitar off of the wall.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
That thing's sharp looking.
Yeah, thank
you. That's pretty.
Cheap and cold, right? So this is a Telecaster. The thing that's different about this is called a Nashville Telecaster. And what makes it different is it has a center pickup.
Ah, okay.
So most Stratocasters have 3 pickups. So like a Jimi Hendrix, Buddy Holly. So a Stratocaster is it's thinner. It's not just a plank of wood. So the Telecasters are kind of more honky-tonky, twangy sort of thing. And some of the kind of the hammer of the honky-tonk gods or whatever in Nashville wanted to have a little bit different sound to it. So they added that center pickup into it because a lot of people just like the weight of a Tele and the neck of a Tele better than a Strat.
Huh.
So it's kind of a worthless hobby to run around and just keep your eyes on the pawn shops and the Facebook marketplaces and that sort of stuff.
Just see who's selling one.
Yeah.
And go for it.
And this is something
you just picked that one up, right? That one's new. That one's the newest. Week. Yeah, the newest one in your collection.
Yeah, I don't buy new guitars. It doesn't have any character, right? I like old, funky, weird stuff. So old, funky, weird, right? Yeah. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, guitars like that. The weirder it is, the bigger piece of crap it is, the more interest it is to me, at least. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've met Tom Arnold. I think that's his last name. Am I slaughtering that? I think I'm slaughtering the last. Megan, what's his last name? He played, gosh dang it, I can't, I'm saying it completely wrong and I'm embarrassing myself horribly. I played the ukulele on the show a couple of weeks back. And I was like, what? He just so happened to have a ukulele like off camera. I didn't know he was going to do this. I had no idea.
Well, I'm not going to torture everybody by plugging in and just
Cross
blasting through everything.
Tom
Lucky,
Cross,
you know. Wow, look at the clicks are going way up. They're donating to the GoFundMe. Do not let Dave play. Don't. $5.
All right, we got. I see a couple thumbs up right now. If we can get 5 more, Dave has to play. That's just the way it works.
Oh God.
I won't put you on the spot with that, so you don't have to give thumbs up, folks. Everybody's logging into other networks now. Come on,
run.
Get it right now. Tom Cross, man, I'm so sorry, Tom. But yeah, he plopped out a ukulele, little thing like that, and he played
Over the Rainbow.
Sweet Child of Mine on it.
No.
Yeah, really? Yeah. It was a few weeks ago. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the song that he played.
When we go to the shows, let's see, I believe Jeff Shackelford of he's an axe player. And I think one of
he's been on the show, yeah.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, there's a computer company in Delaware. Can't remember.
Oh, Samuri.
Tolino.
Yeah. Jason, does he play?
Yeah, Jason plays.
Okay.
The guitar.
Oh, that's right. He does play. That's right. He had some hanging up in his room. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I think that Jen at one time thought that we could pull off. You'd have a techno security band.
There you go.
And you could only play like, I Fought the Law. All those. It had to be law enforcement related subject matter, right?
Yeah. Mike Rago. He was in a band actually. They opened for. Oh man, who they opened for? My memory today. I didn't take my ginkgo this morning. I can't remember anything. He told the story when he was on here that he was in an actual legit like band. They opened for a fairly decent sized.
This is Mike, right?
Yeah. When he used to have long hair. I mean, you know Mike Rago. I mean, he had these long hair. He said he had. I was like, no way. He's never showed me a picture. I think he's afraid I'm going to screenshot it and use it against him. But Mike's with silent signals.
Him and Chad are the wrong guys to get on your bad side.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that play guitar. I have 2 guitars and I can play neither of them. So they're just acoustic. So
yeah, and we kind of wondered, it's like, how on earth, this is before Megan started working with you, you're going to have a band with like 30 guitar players.
That would still be cool.
I would be relegated to the bass as the worst of the guitar players.
You know what?
No drums, no pianos, and God, probably no singing. But
I think if there's anyone out there that's watching right now or watching later on, and if you play a musical instrument, I think I should get everybody that I know in industry that plays something, even if it's just tambourine. I don't care. Or spoons. Spoons would be cool.
Cowbell.
Yeah. More cowbell. And then I think we should just do like a Zoom call with like what I call the Brady Bunch view, right? Where you can see everybody and you just play something. That'd be fun.
Like COVID, but better.
Yeah.
We're going on a world tour.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Oh my gosh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
See, now I'm thinking ideas of what we can do.
Maybe for Cyber Social Con.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
For the lunch hour jam, open mic jam session. Right?
There we go. That'd be awesome.
Oh, wait a minute. How about the Cyber Social Hub Gong Show?
No, because a lot of these people are sponsors. I don't want to gong them.
Yeah. Come on. They wouldn't take it that seriously, would they?
I don't know.
They might, yeah.
I don't know. Most of the people I know wouldn't. They'd laugh. They'd get me back somehow. So it's not hard.
Hey, you ever tried this this cheerwine soda?
All right, Here's a little secret about Cheerwine. So when I first left forensics, and I started my company up, and I'm like, what am I going to do with my life now? I had no desire to go back into corporate world. I didn't fit real well in corporate world, which those of you who know me get it like right away. I didn't fit real well. So I actually, my past life, besides being law enforcement, was in radio. Hence the nerdy equipment that I always have and stuff like that. And so I bought a sound booth. I think you saw the sound booth maybe when were you here when I had the sound
booth? I got
booth?
stuck in there.
I don't have really it anymore. Hot. I have since got rid of the sound booth.
Muffles or anything. When it came out, I was just a sweatier version of myself.
Yeah, it's creepy in there because like when you clap, you naturally hear an echo. You don't realize it, but this was just like it was weird just hearing there was no echo at all in that sound booth. Anyway, I did voiceover work for a couple different companies. I think some of my commercials are still actually running. Even all this time later, but I auditioned for a Cheerwine commercial,
wow.
And I have to submit your voice. I still have the voiceover recording too. Yeah, it didn't get picked, but people that listen to it go, "Oh my gosh, that's you!" I'm like, "Yeah, it was me." You could change your voice. I was trying to go for that Bill Elliott type sound, which I failed miserably at it, but it was still a cool sounding commercial. I really liked it. But I did, horseshoe commercials, which I know nothing about horses in the slightest.
What, a horseshoe?
Yeah, or no, it was something to do with horses. I don't know what the hell it was. No, I know what it was. It was the bit. It was the different bit. I'm trying to remember the script now in my head. And I learned all about these bits and I had to do these research. So I sounded like I knew what I was talking about. So I had to go research these when I was reading this script. So I was more believable. And that one, I got that one. So yeah, I did that awesome. For a while. And I still do occasionally the voiceover every now and then, but AI is going to put all these artists, most of them, out of business now, as good as AI has gotten. It's scary, but yeah.
Well, nowadays, everybody kind of needs those soundtracks. I was at our corporate office the other day, and our corporate events guy, he's a really good rapper. And he does a lot of his own music, and he works with the guy that produced Jay-Z's first album, Ski, I think is his name. And he was telling me, I hadn't seen him in probably 3 weeks. And I said, well, what's up in the music business? He said, oh, you won't believe it, Dave. He said, there's this guy in Montana that shaves sheeps. So I'm like, yeah, probably. He says, he hired me to do some custom raps for his sheep shearing company. I'm like,
wait, what?
So I'm thinking of
It wasn't for the sheep, though. It was for the company, not the sheep.
Now that you ask, it could have been for both. So I'm thinking sheep shearing, and I think they only do it in Australia because I'm not a smart guy. And then I think of the Thornbirds because I'm old.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, what? Jay, I don't get it. So he goes to YouTube, and I think if you look up, it's either Wyoming or Montana sheep shearing. And so they just go in there and they're like, the sheep, they don't move. I thought they'd put up a fight like trying to trim my dog's nails or something like that. No, they're just hanging out there and they got these big cutters and bloop, bloop, bloop. And it's like a perfect thing at the end. It's like a little felt cutout and it's all still attached. I'm like, oh my God, that's cool.
Yeah, it's one big blob. I watched a documentary. That's how exciting my life is.
The guy had given Jay all the technical terms. So they call the cutter, the shears. There's a special name for this. There's a special name for that. There's a special name for the bit and the thing that they string them up to or whatever. And then they're just showing video of these. They look like Montana people, right? So their country, as country gets, and they're in there and they've got the sheep and they're just. And you can't hear it, and it's just Jay's rap in the background. And he's just laying the beat with all these terms, these words that you've never heard of. And
I gotta find it. I'm sure it's got to be on YouTube somewhere, man. It's got to be here somewhere.
I'll try and find out. Old age and memory don't mix very well. But it's he does a lot of that for just like TV shows and commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay's rap name is True, Trew. And he's part of the Probity family that makes a lot of stuff happen. So all of our trade show stuff and things
very
like
cool.
that. But yeah, so when you said the cheer wine or whatever,
yeah,
it's got these little stories. But
I never had it until I did that voiceover, and I still, like I said, I still have it somewhere. But so we drive down south often, and that's where you have to. I don't think it's even available here in Ohio where I'm at. And
Mission Barbecue. If you have a Mission Barbecue, they somehow get it everywhere. Yeah,
there is one. There's a Mission Barbecue out closer to Cleveland a little bit.
Yeah, I think you can get it there.
It's good. I like Cheerwine. I like it. I was a little sad now after I had it that I didn't get the commercial spot because I really like the drink.
Yeah, you get free Cheerwine for life. But
it's like you could have taken the voiceover for free. I wouldn't even charge you. Just give me that stuff.
It's just cherry cola, but it's pretty sugary.
Yeah.
It might not be as good of a soda as it is apparently. And I hope Ron is with us today on the chat. But
he is. He's been in and out of the chat.
Okay, so
not making fun of you too much today either. So no, he's actually
good,
reserved.
But we were in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago near Asheville, and we went to some German brew pub or whatever, and it's the middle of the day, so not many other people are, in a brew pub drinking at that time of day. But the guy says, "Hey, there's a really good Mexican restaurant. We don't have any food, but if you order, they'll just bring it right in here." I'm like, all right, let's do that. So we ordered, I don't know, some wings or empanadas or something like that. And the sauce choice was Cheerwine habanero.
Really? So Megan was mentioning this. Hold on.
And the guy came over, delivered it, and he said,
"There it is."
He said, "Have you ever had that sauce before?" We're like, "No." He said, "Be careful." And I think Megan just laughed at him. Like, so he left, opened the thing, and it just came in this little plastic or styrofoam cup. And she dipped a fork to taste it, and you pull it out, and one of the tines is missing. I remember that the only words out of her mouth were, "Oh, that's stupid." It was so hot and so good that I said, "Can we get some of this?" And he says, "Yeah, come on over." So I went back over, I ran across the street and, basically bought a mason jar of it.
Holy crap.
Said, how do you make this? And he says, "Well, the only time we can make it is when the store is closed, because we boil the peppers, the habaneros, and the entire building, it's like hazmat. You can't even walk in there.
It's like everybody got pepper sprayed in the building.
Yeah. There's no bears around there. So I don't know I think it went home with Megan. I don't know if the jar that it was in dissolved or anything, but it was pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was hot.
Like stupid, like obviously stupid hot. It was,
Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
Oh man, I would have to try it at least once now. That sounds good. I would try it.
It's not for the meek. It's not for the meek.
No, I'm not real. I never used to be real too bad into the hot stuff, but man, if it has some flavor and not just hot, I usually can handle it. But things that they make hot just freaking on purpose and like with no other flavor other than like they gave you a taste of hell on a spoon, then that's dumb. I don't like that kind of hot. It's got to have some.
It's got pretty good flavor. It wasn't too sweet because the guy said that he said we don't use the soda or the pop, as the case may be, to mix it in there. They use the syrup. So being a restaurant, they get the Cheerwine syrup.
That's right.
So
and they
the
mix it at the machine.
Stuff. So it's got to be almost like molasses.
Yeah. Huh.
So I'm just like, oh my God. Wow.
I'll be doggone. And so you can't actually, you got to go to this restaurant to get it. You can't like go to the website and order it.
The restaurant. We should give them total props. It was great food, and the people were very, very nice. And they gave me a tour without killing me with the hot sauce fumes or whatever. But that's pretty good.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So adventures, you never know. So if there's stuff that you've never heard of, like Truxton, give it a try. It might help you. You might like it. Who knows?
Yeah, heck yeah. And Megan forgets the name of it too. She says Eagle something.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Eagle something. That
Eagle
helps.
something, yeah.
Oh, I know that place. Anyway,
somewhere in Asheville, North Carolina, there's a guy like, oh my God.
Those idiots. Put it in chat. Put it in the comments. We'll get it at someone. Megan thinks she's
out to 36 more people.
Yeah.
On here next week.
Right. She thinks she's found it. Oh, there it is. Oh, here it is. Here's the name. Ready? Drum roll. There it is, right there on the screen.
Oh,
Great.
that's it.
Eagle
Tequila.
Tequila? Is that how you say that? I have no idea.
Well, I didn't drink a tequila, but
is that an Asian tequila? How you just pronounced that?
Like I said.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Anyway, yeah, I can barely order from the Taco Bell menu most days and get pronunciations right. I'll slaughter that if I even try it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Oh, crap. Well, Dave, I just realized what time it was, man. It's like right up almost
is it over?
For the hour. Well, I mean, we got a couple minutes, but I want to swing back to what we were talking about in the first place.
we never go on tangents.
Yeah, well, I think that's honestly, I think that's why people watch. I don't know, because it's not my personality. It's just because we go off and talk about the dumbest things sometimes. It's got to be, and we mix it with forensics too.
To summarize it, the Truxton Automatic Digital Forensics Platform. There's going to be a free community edition. It'll be released in the first week, 10 days of June. You will hear about it through Cyber Social Hub. There's a link in the Cyber Social Hub chat where you can fill out a form and you can be one of the first people in your block to give it a shot and try it out. And it works with every other forensic tool. So it's not really a replacement to your collection tools like Celebrate, Grey Key, ADF, Data Pilot, and whoever else I'm missing.
The list goes on. Yeah.
But basically, you would take the results, the files from all of those collection tools, and you would aggregate them into Truxton and let Truxton just churn through them automatically, no human involved. And when you return, you're going to get a set of 12 to 13 reports that'll give you a preliminary head start on the case. And that's going to be a summary of the media. It's going to be a list of all the artifacts that it found. So that's going to be the names, serial numbers, credit card numbers, those sorts of things. It's going to have all of your messaging in there. It's going to have all the videos and all the images, all the text conversations back and forth. And when you just click on timeline, it'll take every piece of media and every event that's in there and show it on a timeline, let you print it out. And then you're going to be able to just
free.
Yeah, take your location report and just open it in Google Earth.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome.
But, yeah,
well, that's kind of awesome that Truxton's giving back to the community. Now, obviously, you can upgrade, right? If you need more functionality, things like that. If you find yourself at that level, then there are options for you. But
yeah, there's an upgrade.
But the level you described is great for that small, independent researcher or examiner or private investigator.
Perfect.
I mean, I could just start rattling off a lot of different use cases from this. So I got the link here on the screen right now. So because what happens is when we push these up to YouTube after we're done live, after I hit the end button here, it takes, I don't know, sometimes an hour before the chat comes back. I don't know why YouTube does that. Yeah, YouTube, they'll put it back eventually. But in the meantime, it's here on the screen, and I'll make a point to go put it in show notes too. And this is, so just fill this out. You're not going to get anything right away because you said release was exactly when on this?
It's going to be probably the 7th to the 10th of June.
There you go.
So we're just waiting for we have to update the EULA and some gobbledygook like that before we can cut it loose. It's already ready. Yeah. So
nice.
It's more challenging to offer a free product than it is to actually sell something. Right. Again, like I said, for a small law enforcement organization, for anybody that needs to make more out of their existing collection tools. So, if you're a campus security or police department or something like that doesn't have the budget for this sort of stuff, or you're not really investigating true criminal activity yet. So if you just want to find out who was doing, you're just trying to validate, who's telling the truth and who isn't. It might not even be a criminal case. And then specifically for folks that have like Data Pilot DP10s. Mm-hmm. So DP10 will hold, 256 or whatever number of cases it can hold. Once it gets to that limit, you need to clear those polls off of the DP10. Yeah. So if you're looking for a way to take all of your scans off of a DP10 and put them somewhere in one bucket, great for gangs, that gang investigation or something like that.
Yeah, just a clarification, not the gang themselves, but the investigator.
And go back in there. Yeah. And then if you don't want to load up your laptop with it, you can store the data on a T7, external drive.
Yeah, so, very cool.
Pretty easy.
And Megan says 1,000. She's here 1,000% for the tangents, not for the nerd part of it. So, yeah, that's fun. That was a great story. I did not know anything about that hot sauce, man. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna see if they'll ship me a bottle of it, if they can. I will stalk them now to try it because I've never. You said North Carolina? Is that where you were?
It's in the Asheville River Arts District. So there's a river that goes through there. It's kind of like near the Chimney Rock Park. I don't know what mountain range it is or whatever. I don't read the placards.
I'll find it. I'm going to be in North Carolina here in the next 2 weeks. So maybe just a small
other side of the state. So that
detour by a few hours.
A few.
I have to talk my wife into it.
Tennessee.
Yeah. No, don't say that. She might be listening right now, though. So to say, hey, we got a little detour here. Dave said to stop by this restaurant. It's really good.
She'd like it.
Yeah. No, she can't. No, hot stuff. Toothpaste is too hot for her. No. Yeah.
Never like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Peppermint is too spicy. Not happening. All right, Dave.
You can drive then.
Yeah. Very good. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks so much for popping on the show. I always look at the top of the hour and I'm like, man, that went by so fast, so stinking fast. That went by. But my wife is messaging me. I wonder if she was watching the show. Oh no, she's not. All right, she says, "Let me know when you're out of your meeting." She thinks I'm in a meeting, not live on YouTube right now. So that's good. She didn't hear it. Safe. We're safe
for now.
Yeah, for now, until she watches the replay, then I'm in trouble. But anyway, Dave, thanks so much again, man. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out the free version of Truxton. Have the link down here in the show notes. You'll see it in chat a couple times. Yep. We'll drop it in there. Plus, you can go into Cyber Social Hub if you're not a member, cybersocialhub.com. Check it out. We'll have some banners and stuff in there. Again, you can sign up and get you pushed in the right direction. It's free. There's no catch it's not a trial. It's
No,
Free,
it's not
free.
a trial, and that's really important for law
Free.
enforcement folks because
Yeah.
they run out of time. Right?
Yeah.
You get on a case, you have to go testify. You don't have time to, can you extend my trial? This is the best way, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Well, Dave, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate hanging out with us and hope to see you soon. Everyone else, make sure you check us out every Friday for the most part at 2:00 right here on YouTube and all the other social networks. And we broadcast live. And don't forget, in 2 weeks, about 2 weeks or so, maybe a little less than that now, we're going to be at Techno Security down in Wilmington broadcasting quite a few times live. So if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, hit the little notifications bell. That way you can be notified every time we do go live, and you can see all the shenanigans that are going to be happening from Techno here in a couple of weeks. So Dave, again, thanks. Yep. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, veteran, everybody.
All right. Everybody have a safe weekend. Right? Yeah. Take care. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.